Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I've got an unbalanced rack, a lot of vowels, but I think playing is better than changing. And I can get rid of 3 vowels with this, and I can't see any other way of doing that and getting the W doubled. Pretty grim. No U to go with the Q, and still a lot of vowels. I think I do need to play the Q immediately, or I'll be changing. So I need an I for caddy or cade, but the rack lead from that's going to be pretty poor. If I did change, I could change EOQ and leave ADER, which is a really good 4-letter set, so changing isn't going to result in a totally random rack. I don't have any Q plays with the tiles on the board at the moment. So is there any other Q play apart from caddy and cade? What if opponents stuck a U into the open? Well, I would then have options. I would have roke, which would leave ADE. Opponent taking a while with this opening move. Could be about to bingo. Now, what hooks does wheat take? I don't think it takes an S. It may take a D and an R, and it doesn't take anything at the beginning. There isn't a bingo if opponent were to provide a floating U. So what about keeping the Q and scoring as much as possible with the remaining tiles? Now, opponent has played, provided no Q spots, but I do have vowels for going under the Z, so it may be better for me to play than to change. So I do have road in this spot for 28. That is better than changing. Do I have anything even better? Well, not that I can see. I'm going with this. Wow, and still no way to get rid of the Q, unless opponent provides an I or a U. Road takes nothing in front. Eld only takes an S after it. Again, if I do change, I'll be keeping a pretty decent set. Probably A, E, G, N, S. Just change Q and A. Now, rather than just changing Q and A, I could play cat here, which is 13 points better than changing. Decent rack lead, not providing anything for opponent. The alternative to that would be to play chin for 11 more points. But keeping double A, E, G, S, I'm going with the better rack lead. I don't think there's going to be much between these plays. Yeah. Cat for 13. Now, I do draw a U. Can quangos be spelt O-E-S as well as O-S? I don't think so. Is there a 7 here? Well, not that's coming to mind. How about the floaters? All vowels. So I don't think there's a bingo here. I'm just going to check quangos with the E. Not good. Okay, I can put that dream to one side. Is there really no bingo here? It feels so close. Quango just as a 7, keeping ES is an option, but won't score very much. So I and E, how about the I? Not seeing anything. And that score sacrifice, playing QA rather than chin, meant that I retained fewer vowels and even despite doing that, I'm swamped with vowels. So, a new floater, and it is a consonant. So, do I have something? No, I don't think I do. I do have a spot for guano. 19 points. Not massively dangerous. No vowels next to premium squares. But I'm wrecking the rack. If I could play off just GOU, AN would certainly help this rack leave. But is there a way of playing off GOU and scoring well? I don't think there is. Gosh, just looking to see if I have rogue in column 2, and I don't. Okay, I'm going with guano. Wow, not great. No bingo here. Neither a 7 nor an 8 that has come to mind. But I can probably get rid of quite a few of these high-scoring tiles. I think chive and chived are both good. And they would play in row L through the eye of Zowie. Eld takes an S. But I can't see anything great beginning with S. So opponent goes in row D. I've got a C for yogic. Interesting. So surely this is the play for 68 points. Bang! Fantastic. So I have a 40-point lead. What have I drawn? Well, I don't think I've drawn a bingo. This is, again, vowel heavy with duplicates and an unbingo-y consonant in the F. But the F should enable me to sort the rack out. I've got far, F-double-A, in row C. And I've also got that word in column 4. I think far takes an N and an S. Now, could there be a low probability bingo here? I don't think there is a 7. Where are the floaters? And I'm really looking for floating consonants, and there are none. O-N, G-O, U-M. None of these look promising. I have Safari in row K. Only 28 points. Now, do I have an alternative to far, which plays an O or an I? So oaf would leave a better rack leave. That doesn't play in row C. It does play in column 2, but it doesn't score as much as far. Wow, that chived play. Super handy, 68 points. Great, just 10 points for opponent. Fantastic. And he leaves my far spot alone. So I have far for 28. Pretty good. I am now getting pretty close to a bingo. Through an I would have heroized. But is there a 7? Yes, there's roadies. Wow. Is there somewhere for that? Well, there is, because Wheater is good. Column 9. Fantastic. Is there anywhere else? I don't think so. Well, I guess Rhea presaged opponent having a good rack, and he's got a double-double for 92 points. He's also blocked my roadie's spot. Does it play anywhere else? I don't think it does. Do I have anything through these floaters? So I now trail by 30 points. Just looking to see if I've overlooked any 7-letter lanes. The new lanes are in rows J and L, involving overlaps, but roadies doesn't play there. It would if RA were good. So what are the floaters? R, E, and D. Shodia. Wow, Shodia. I was not optimistic that there was a bingo, and there is. Shodia for 63. Do I have anything through the E? Don't think so. Yeah, I'm going with this. And I draw the first blank. And I have a slender lead. 31 tiles in the bag, including a blank and 2 S's. But the board getting quite tight. Basically, the whole of the top of the board above this diagonal is out of action. And I think the bottom's going to fill up fairly quickly. There are lanes, column 14, and floaters. But if all the play is going to be in the bottom half of the board, those lanes are likely to shrink. So if opponent gets a bingo down, he could be in a strong position. Now, I don't have a bingo rack, but I do have 3 scoring tiles. I could play Kemb in row M, which obstructs column 14 as a bingo lane and takes out 2 floaters, so that's pretty handy. Do I have anything through the I? I have IMB, but I think any play in that spot would burn the blank. So what else do I have? Kemb isn't going to score hugely. Only 24 points. What about a play through the R? No. But Kemb does have the advantage of getting rid of all of my scoring tiles, which is good. When I have the blank, I'd like to bingo as soon as possible. Of course, Kemb is obstructing bingo lanes, but I have the lead, so that's okay. Kemb for 24. If opponent plays down from the I, well, Sap's inhibited that, but then there will be a floater. Duplicate T with 2 T's to come, not great, but the T is a bingo-y tile. Am I missing out on a much bigger play? Just 3 E's left, so keeping one on my rack pretty handy. Yeah. I lead by just 4, so I'll be 28 in front. I'm going with Kemb. Well, I don't draw any T's. I don't draw any consonants at all, only vowels. And columns 1 and column 8 onto these triple word squares appear to be the most useful scoring spots. Now, do I have a bingo onto the R or through the R? A play could end I-R-E. So I've blocked Troutier. Yep, K-E, not good. What about a play through the B? So I've got the out prefix with T-I-E. I'm not seeing a play through the B. Where else is there to consider? Well, I guess I'm coming back to this R. Opponent's changed 6 tiles. 13 minutes on my clock. This rack plus an R. Torutic. No, that doesn't fit. This rack plus an R. Wow, I was thinking of out tired, but I don't think that's good. This rack plus an R. Still not seen anything. And IER words are no good to me. Nothing here that I can see. Ritenuto, well, that doesn't work. Not seeing anything here, but it looks quite handy. Quittor isn't a bingo, but is good. So 2 R's. Tourtière is good as a 9. Taustia. Does that have an anagram? Tutorize. Gosh, that nearly works. This rack plus an R. So let me move on. 12 minutes on my clock. Outright. That doesn't work. Nope, not seeing anything. What if the blank was an S? Tausty. Yep, Kem has blocked Tutorize and Tausty, so good play. Does Zowie take an S? I don't think so. So I lead by about 30. I'm not going to score very much. Is Kembo good? If it is, then 21 points might be the most I can hope for. Let me be a bit more cautious about playing that. I'm going to check Kembo before wasting time looking for the best move. It is good, so I think this is where I get points from a rack with only 1 pointers. I'd like to not provide opponent with the opportunity of sticking his J on this double letter square. So do I have a play which doesn't take a hook, which is 1 square longer than an O? So what about that? OU for 17. Then opponent's got to have the right tile. Let me put this back. So the U is a definite. Do I have a play which doesn't provide any access at all to the triple word square? Wow, this is tricky. I do want to burn the U. There's 1 to come and it's non-bingo-y. Okay, well, what about a play across row N? Is this complete madness? Opponent changed 6. I think this is only 19 points. I think it is madness. Let me have a look around the board for other high-scoring spots. I don't really want to open a lane. I am going without for 19. Well, a great rack. But will I have the opportunity to play a bingo? If opponent plays bottom right, the R will remain available for plays ending OR or IR or AR. Not seeing anything with this rack. Is this madness? I'm just waiting for the J to come down. But if it doesn't, this could just tighten up the board. I do have a 50-point lead and I have an amazing rack. I'm still looking for bingo lanes I may have overlooked. Let me come back to row N. So this rack plus an with the blank as an O. So that will be ritournelle. That doesn't play and it doesn't have an anagram. What would a play look like that ended IR? Okay, 33 points. I now have a slender lead. So what if the blank was an A? rat line as a 7. No, and I've only got 1 pointer, so I just can't score. I really don't want to create a solitary bingo lane. So what can I do with this rack? Just reconfirming that road doesn't have a front hook, and I don't think it does. So do I have an extension of font? Look at this, just 14 points lead. That is tiny. And still 19 tiles to come. This is the choked board I thought may happen. Do I have a play across here ending, well, E-R-I-E would use 2 E's. Maybe this rack is so good I should open a lane. Very hard to do that. 7 minutes on my clock. So, really, really tricky. What about a play down from the R? Let me check the remaining vowels. 7 out of 26. Very few vowels. Okay. I need to guard the ones I have carefully. Now, the E is actually a floater for a bingo which begins with E. Gosh, close to elaterin, entailor and tree nail. None of those work. But surely I have a play across from in row M through this E. Now all those plays I considered were with the blank as an A. So what if the blank weren't an A, but it's this rack plus an E? I think if there is a bingo here, it's likely to win the game. So this rack plus an E, that was jetliner. And the bingo has to begin with an E. And I'm very short on time. Not seeing anything. No, so 5 minutes on my clock. I can play Lent for 8, which takes out column 1, forces opponent down from column 8, in which he'll be providing a floater. Well, I do finally have a scoring tile, and I've got XI for 24 points. Do I have any IX plays? Gosh, close to Ixtal, but I've just played all the tiles for that. This is tight. Remaining tiles not massively bingo-y, but not massively un-bingo-y either. I'm helped by the shortage of vowels, and the J, F and V, and the lack of lanes. But look at this, my lead is only 20 points. So what's the best I can do with the X? Do I have an alternative to XI? And is there really no IX play? Don't think so. I guess I've got EX in row N, but that's going to invite a scory response. O Lent is good, so Lent hasn't shut the door on column 1. Urea is good. Now, what about this triple letter square? Well, I have EX in that spot, so I have two spots which can't both be taken, so I am going to get 20 odd points. Now, I had a thought. What was it? Don't know. I guess I do have Zenurine if opponent sticks one of the four ends in the open. He doesn't. He gets 22 points. Ah, yes, I've remembered my thought. I've drawn vowels, so only 4 out of 20 tiles are vowels. Tempting to play just the X, but what about playing the U as well? I don't have to hog these vowels. 4 minutes on my clock. So EX, well, that invites a nice score in column 13. So I think just XI is better. Opponent can't score off that at all. Can't see anywhere for XU. I'm short on time. I'm going with this. Well, pretty good. If a bingo lane is created. And again, if opponent sticks an N in the open, I could use the blank as an X to make Zenurine. And I've drawn an N. That was the tile I've drawn. Now, opponent is 25 points behind. What's he going to be thinking? Column 8, not particularly hot in that it's difficult to get a scoring tile on this double letter square. Ixtal, the X was a possibility with Ixtal, but not many 5-letter plays begin I and then a scoring tile. And if you can't put a scoring tile on that double letter square, a play in column 8 isn't going to score very much, and you're gifting a floater for opponent with 2 blanks unplayed. We could both be sitting with very bingo-y racks. Except so few vowels. Opponent certainly doesn't have an E on his rack. Now I've got an I. Just thinking about a something IV play, but I don't have one. I'm back to having only 1-point tiles on my rack, so I'm going to struggle to score. What are the big tiles to come? B, C, F, J. C is going to be pretty grim. And an O would be useful for playing in column 1. Although a play down there would be providing a floater. A floater in first place is less useful than a floater which can have a choice of places. I guess this triple letter square in column 14 is a destination for some of these scoring tiles. Maybe I should take that out. I was thinking about Deux last turn, but I'm pretty sure that isn't good. It's Deux and Deus. So what am I going to do with the board as it stands? I've got an R for going between E and K. But although there are very few vowels left, the vowels on my rack are the ones I'm looking to play. But where? Now EUK is good. Right. Opponent has stuck a T in the open. So, reunite. I have a bingo. Fantastic. And that should be enough to win the game. 3 minutes on my clock. And I can do better than that. I have Assurient. Fantastic. Assurient for 74. Bang! And there's just 1 tile in the bag, and I have an 80-point lead. Surely that is going to be enough. There are no bingo lanes at all on this board. Fantastic. Unless I've overlooked a front hook for road, and I don't think I have. Now I actually draw 2 of the 3 remaining blanks, so opponent's been pretty unfortunate in terms of vowels. I meant to say vowels there. So what can I do here? Well, I have fact in column 14. Opponent may well go there. So what is my lead? I don't want to be overly confident. If opponent can in fact catch me, he's likely to get a whole chunk of count back if he can go out in 2. Well, look at this. This game has played out as I expected, in the sense that the top left of the board has remained unoccupied. All of the action has been in the bottom right, and the bingo lanes have shrunk. I thought it was going to backfire with Kem because I stopped myself from bingoing, but opponent did not get a bingo down and then was forced to stick a floater into the open. Well, not forced, but that was one of the few lanes available, and I think he just took the gamble that I wouldn't be able to bingo, and possibly he would. Certainly that sort of floater is mainly useful for a bingo. So what if fact is blocked? J is good. I have JA, top right. Fantastic. Keeping cliffed. I may get stuck with the C or the J. But opponent's in a grim spot because his rack, although there's one in the bag, whatever the tile in the bag is, the tiles on his rack are unpromising. Four minutes on opponent's clock, 3 minutes on mine. He had a lot more time than me at one point, but that has shrunk. He's been spending a lot longer on his recent moves. Poon for 24. So, opponent's got the blank, so he's always going to be able to block JA. 3 minutes on my clock. Do I have any alternative J spots? Gosh, I'm just looking at this triangle. Not only was it not used during the game, but it's actually difficult to use, difficult to score anything off. Jar for 38, I am going with that. I had been thinking about playing fact, but then I couldn't see a spot for the J if this one was blocked, and 38 points, I don't see how that can be a bad play. Opponent can't score much top right. J takes nothing in front, so he can just stick a B in front of the A. But what Jar has done is prevented me from playing fact in column 14. So I may struggle with any remaining moves, and there could be a few of them. Opponent has no vowels at all. Opponent plays ab for 17. So factor's gone. Do I really have... I have fit, so I have something. What else can I do? Opponent's got LNS. Is he going out? I don't think so, but possibly. So I have fit for 16. I have 2 spots for the L, La and Lid. I have a spot for the C because Sid is good and CH is good. Now, did I have a decent CH play last turn? Possibly. So I suspect I could have played this ending a little better. But the game is won. I have nearly 100-point lead. Count is good. Or is it? No, it's not. So it's just CH and Sid. Great, I may actually get a chance to go out. I have Sid for 9. Can opponent go out with LN? I don't think so. Do I have 2 spots for my L? I have la and I have lout. Still 2 minutes, so is there really nowhere for CL? I've blocked clout. It would need to be through a vowel. Yeah, I don't think there is a CL spot. I'm going with Sid. So is there a third L spot? 6 in column 15 and 4 in column 14. Just scanning the board pretty randomly, looking for an L spot. Not seeing one. This square to the left of rave would have been available, or is available, for a G, and possibly some other tiles. Now, opponents played elk. Hasn't provided anywhere for my L. So I'm going out there. Just waiting for the game to end. And the final score, 379 for my opponent, 464 for me, a winning margin of 85 points, so a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. So it was me to go first, and I played wheat. Awito was the other play I saw, but it didn't have the W in first place, so I felt that was too great a score sacrifice. Opponent's rack plays Zol. Zeroed for 34, keeping the Q. What do? I play Road for 28, keeping AEQ. I prefer my play. Road provides very little for opponent, whereas Zeroed provides a ton of floaters and hotspots. Opponent plays Zowie. Now Chin I thought about, but I preferred Cat because this is quite a nice rack leave. Well, since this is all about score and rack leave, let me have a go at valuing these. So AAEGS, S pretty good, 8 to 10, E helps it, A helps it, G helps it, and then A drags it all the way back. So I would say this is still worth about +5. But AEGNS, everything is going in the right direction here. So starting 8 to 10, 12, 13, 14, everything is just adding and adding. So this is going to be between 15 and 20, and I would say closer to 20. So 5 to 20, I suspect there could be a 15-point difference in rack leave, and there's only 11-point score difference. Now, opponent's rack plays Quim, and A11, Guanos and Quims for 30. What do? I play Guano for 19, preserving the S. Well, the S is worth 8 to 10, so you can see immediately that these moves are comparable. Opponent's rack plays Yogi, which is fantastic because I have chived for 68, or chived. Now, opponent's rack plays Raya. So he played Raya from this, yeah, leaving a really good rack leave of arts. My rack, no bingo, and I play Far for 28, which is fine. And great rack for opponent, and he does bingo with Stared as a double-double. And now I trail by 30. But look at this. I have Shodia for 63, but M2 heroize through this E. I looked later on for bingos through that E, but not at this point. But I could have got 9 more points by playing there. I note that heroize takes out this hotspot above the E of Stared, but I'm not sure that that makes it a better play. Now, opponent already suffering from a lack of vowels, plays Sap, and I have Chem for 24, and I still think that's fine. Even though it stops me bingoing, it is also obstructing opponent, and I have a lead, so that's okay. Look at this, absolute horror show. And opponent changes. My rack, no bingo. And this is where I played out, which I felt was super risky. L14, toit being suggested, tout. Well, these are all the same plays in terms of the danger. And out has the best rack leave. So I suspect there may be a better play, but I'm not seeing it at this point. Opponent's rack close to a bingo, and he has one. Eyesight. Wow, where does that play? M1. Gosh, look at that through this E. Very difficult to see, to spot. Well done if you did, but there was a bingo there. Opponent plays Yeti. Now, is it my turn to miss a bingo? No. And K8 inner. This is the sort of play I didn't want to do, giving my opponent first shot at a bingo, and then it being game over. So I held back from doing that and played Lent, hanging on to my precious vowels, and also taking out a floater. Opponent's rack, no bingo. Plays Rave. Could have stuck a G on the beginning to make grave. Now, look at this. We are dead level. And what do? I play Z for 25. H14 Rex. Well, I didn't like that. It just provided an opportunity for opponent to score 20 or 30 points. And Z doesn't. Yeah. Okay. And now opponent's rack. He's got the O for Olent. And he plays Ingot, which was absolutely fantastic because I have Essurient for 74. And all of these bingos are running through this T. So that pretty much secured the win. Not much opponent can do about it on this board. He plays Poon. I played Jar for 38. Opponent plays Ab. Now, what do I do here? I play Fit. I could have played Phil, a three-letter play I often overlook. But no more, well, one more point available, but 2 consonants better than 3. Opponent's rack, no out, plays Kembos. No out for me, I play Sid. No out for opponent, plays Elk. And finally, La for 6 is best, and there were only 2 spots for the L. So, what an epic game. Both of us down to our last couple of minutes. Super tight board. Something had to give. Opponent provided 1 floater, and it was just the floater I needed to get a bingo down, and that guaranteed me the win. So, super exciting stuff. Many thanks to my opponent for a great battle. I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.